Hi. Okay, so we're back with the pumpkin pie saltwater taffy at the Salty Road Saltwater Taffy Factory in Brooklyn, New York. So this is cooled to the right temperature. I'm just going to pull it and wrap it sort of into a little burrito shape. And then we're going to take it to the taffy puller. As you can see, as it aerates, it becomes opaque. There you go. And so this mixes everything evenly. So all the spices and the large grain sea salt and stuff is going to be completely combined. And like if you were making marshmallows or meringue or anything like that, it's the same idea. You're just pushing air into the product so it becomes opaque. Sort of like a candy cane, that the white stripe of it, they aerate those. So it was like dark sort of orange before, and now it's just like really light tan. You want to get in there. It's the prettiest part of the process for sure, and the most mesmerizing. Sometimes I'll stop it just to because there'll be little parts of it on the side that aren't getting mixed in. It looks pretty good though. Kimberly wants to know what makes it so sticky. Well, yeah, so any sugar candy, if it's humid out, will end up getting sticky. Saltwater taffy especially, because it's a chewy candy, it has more moisture or water than most other candy. But same thing with a Jolly Rancher. If you open it and you leave it out and it's raining or super humid, it's gonna get sticky. So it's really just the sugar. But it's part of the fun. I think most people with saltwater taffy especially like to get a little bit messy. I mean, we do, at least.
Andrea wants to know what flavor this is.
Andrea wants to know what flavor this is. This is our pumpkin pie taffy. It has real pumpkin puree and a spice mixture of cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. And we add large grain sea salt. So this is pretty much mixed. You see now it's not changing color anymore, and it looks really consistent and sort of fluffy. So, and this is kind of a fun part too, you get to watch it fall.
to know, why does the color change?
Yeah, so Christian wants to know why the color changes. It's the same thing as making like marshmallows or meringues. You start with something that's kind of clear, and as you whip air into it, it reflects and becomes opaque. So the same thing with candy canes, that the white of the candy cane is the air, because that syrup originally started clear. Like if you've ever made simple syrup, it's sugar and water, and it's basically a clear syrup.
And Joel wants to know how old that machine is.
That is a really good question, Joel. Joel just asked how old this machine is. And I bought this from a man that made saltwater taffy in Ohio. And he bought it from somebody else. So he didn't actually know how old it was. But I'm going to guess maybe from the 40s or 50s. And we've never had a problem with this machine, which is kind of crazy. So I'm just going to bring the candy over here. So here we let it cool usually for a little bit longer. And I cut it in half. And you can see it's like, it's not, it's like heavy, and it has a lot of stretch to it. So it takes kind of a lot of energy to cut through this guy.
How much does it weigh, did you guess?
This, so someone asked how much it weighs, and this is a 25-pound batch. So it's exactly 25 pounds, but it's also like, has a lot of resistance. So it like takes a lot of energy. So I'm just putting it sort of like in a little bit of a round shape to put it onto the batch roller, which is this guy. So you can see it just rotates. I'm gonna stretch it out in here, so. Because what we want is like a long rope. And as long as you can kind of get it even, it'll gets to the right. So there you go. And this one actually has a tendency to be a little bit firmer because of all the pumpkin puree in it. It's really like thick.
Can you remind Olivia how many pieces is like that?
So it's about 1,500 pieces in each batch. And it depends a little bit, like the chocolate, for some reason we get more pieces than any of the other flavors. So I'm just letting this, I'm trying to kind of shape it into a little square-ish so that when I roll it up, I can just put it directly onto the batch roller. So that's gonna kind of cool here. And then we're gonna just cut and wrap this. So, all right. It's a little soft, but I think it should be fine. It smells really good.
Ariana wants to know what other holiday flavors we do.
What other holiday flavors do we do? We make an eggnog with real whiskey, which is really amazing, and freshly grated nutmeg. And it's crazy how freshly grated nutmeg makes such a difference in the candy. It really does taste exactly like eggnog, which I feel like most eggnog flavored candies are like really gross. All right, so we're just gonna put it in. Put the papers on. There we go. Sometimes if the candy's too soft, it'll jam the machine, but it seems to be doing fine. And this is softer than the peppermint, so it's much easier to pull. It is, Robert, you're right. It is a good workout, especially with your forearms. They get like really strong. You have like little Popeye forearms. During the process? Well, after we definitely taste test because it is true you want to make sure your product is consistent and good. So we definitely take turns, and then sometimes when I've had too much candy or the other candy maker has too much candy, we give it to any of the other people in the factory to make sure, because everybody knows, right, Wendy? Exactly what it's supposed to taste like and feel too. Like texture is super important. And like I said, the pumpkin actually is a little bit sort of firmer because of all the pumpkin in it. So it gets really firmer than the other candies. Ooh. What do we do when the candy gets too soft? Well, that can happen in the summer, like during August. It gets really hot in here because we have like 26 windows. We basically turn all the air conditioners on and try to get it as cold in here as possible. And deal with it that way. Sometimes the chocolate, which is probably the softest of any of the candy, we'll put it in the freezer for like 2 minutes to get it really firm so that it'll go through the machine. Other than that, you just kind of wait until it cools down. That's the thing, the way that our factory is right now, we're so small, we don't have, like all of the really big companies have all of these different machines that are like completely automated, so they would have a batch roller that would go into these, what's called rope sizers. Instead of what we do by hand, it would just be all automated into this machine. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, but we also make our candy more complicated and laborious, but I think it tastes better, so it's worth it, or I hope so. Yeah, Austin wants to know how old this machine, which we call Harriet, she is from the 30s. And actually the company that made her was in Massachusetts, and they no longer exist anymore, which is really sad. But we met a caramel maker that had the exact same machine from the same factory in Massachusetts, and they gave us an original, what is it called? Basically how to fix the machine and like take care of it, which was really rad. Yes, it's called a manual. So that was really cool. It's fun to talk to other candy makers and complain about machines and stuff that no one else really knows about. And we just got a second one of these, which is really cool. We haven't named her though yet.
Margie wants to know where she can get some of this stuff.
Yeah, so we sell the taffy online. We also wholesale it to a lot of different specialty shops across the U.S. If you go to our website, we have a list of stores, retailers, but then you can also buy it on our website, thesaltyroad.com. Yeah, the eggnog flavor we only sell, eggnog and pumpkin we only sell during the holidays. And it makes really good stocking stuffers and gifts for anybody, really. Small little gifts. The shelf life is approximately 6 months. Yeah. It's not quite as long as the ones that are artificially flavored, but it's still pretty long. There's nothing in it that can really hurt you, so it's not like ice cream or meat products or something.
For one batch, how long does it take from start to finish?
So how long does it take from start to finish? From like getting all the ingredients together, putting in the kettle, cooking, taffy puller, batch roller, cutting and wrapper. It's about an hour and 20 minutes, I would say. But it also depends, like certain flavors need to be cooked longer because there's more moisture. Like any of the fruit ones have purees in them, so you have to evaporate all of that liquid. So they usually take a little bit longer. The chocolate is a little bit more complicated, so that one takes longer. But they're all worth it. All right.
Steve wants to know if we do fruity flavors.
So Steve wants to know if we do fruity flavors. Yeah, we have a strawberry that we use real strawberry puree and a mango flavor. And then we have a bergamot flavor, which is kind of an offbeat flavor. It's a citrus fruit that is grown in the south of Italy. And mostly people know it as the main ingredient in Earl Grey tea. And also a lot of lotions and stuff like that. But it's a really nice, it's sort of a floral citrus. So if you're into Earl Grey tea, you would definitely like the bergamot flavor. And we the most popular flavor by far is the sea salt caramel. And then probably the salty caramel apple and the chocolate chews. But everybody has their favorite. It really depends on what you like. People love the salty peanut. Some people really, really just freak out over it. Savory flavors, no, but we have talked about it. Everybody kind of wants to make a buttered popcorn just because I think it would be really delicious. I'm not sure exactly how to get the corn flavor in it without using an artificial flavor, but I'm down to try. Yeah, someone asked me to do a bacon flavor and I was like, no, that's gross. So this one's soft, just let it run through. I'm gonna stop the paper. And that's it. So that was from the kettle to the cooling table, to the taffy puller, to the batch roller, to the cutting and wrapping machine. And that was our pumpkin pie saltwater taffy.
Thanks so much for having us again.
Yeah, thanks for coming.